It's 5 o'clock, and you're watching Montana Right Now. Here's the big story.
Severe flooding, high winds, and June snow are bearing down on different parts of Montana. With the flooding being the most severe, Governor Greg Gianforte has declared a statewide disaster. This allows for the state to allocate extra resources to areas impacted the most. Now, we do have teams stationed in Red Lodge, Stillwater County, Livingston, Butte, Great Falls, and Missoula to bring you the latest on these developing situations. In the meantime, we thank you for joining us this evening. I'm Angela Marshall. We're going to go ahead and begin our team coverage in Red Lodge, where today residents once again have power, all thanks to a lot of hard work in the community. Spencer Martin is live there in town, where crews have been working all day long. Spencer?
Yeah, as you can imagine, it's been all hands on deck here in Red Lodge for crews, and one of the points of emphasis was getting power restored in town, and this area was really key. In the distance, you can see a landslide, and then crews got really creative between Northwestern Energy and Beartooth Electric. It was all here at about 8th Street and Cooper Avenue in Red Lodge. Northwestern Energy says they got power restored at 11:30 last night, and then working with Beartooth Electric, they got power restored to town at 9 a.m. this morning, and they had to get really creative. They put a new electrical pole in there. Some of them are even suspending just to get power restored. Now, some people in Luther and East Rosebud, according to Kevin Owens with Beartooth Electric, have still been without power today. He says that should be restored by tonight, but still, all of this is a temporary solution. Crews that put up those power poles, they've been working along what you can see was very unstable banks along the creek, and Owens asked that people continue to be conservative with the power they use.
We need people in this temporary situation to reduce their electrical load as much as possible until we get things back to a normal state. We're still hanging by a thread, and it's important that they reduce it, continuing to reduce it until we get back to normal.
They've really worked hard on getting power restored. He says he hasn't seen a flood like this since 1981, but even then there was nowhere near as much damage as we're seeing in Red Lodge today. We'll be with you to give you all the latest updates. Reporting live from Red Lodge, Spencer Martin, Montana Right Now.
And just incredible video. Thank you so much, Spencer. And we do want to let you know that a public meeting is about to take place at the Red Lodge High School for members of that community. Several law enforcement agencies are there answering questions and giving the latest updates. Now, if you would like to tune into that live stream, you can just head to the Carbon Alert Facebook page. Once again, that's the Carbon Alert Facebook page. And if you're not able to attend that meeting, city officials would like viewers to hear this important message. Do not go to the damaged areas to look at the destruction. If there's a barrier in the road, do not go past it. Once again, do not go past it. You could be ticketed or even fined for entering a restricted area.
Your weather right now.
Hello again, everyone. A cold day and evening across northwest and western Montana. 43 right now in Kalispell, 52 Missoula, a little better in Billings, 62, 60 in Glasgow. We've had partial sunshine in the east, whereas a lot of clouds, rain, and yes, snow in the higher elevations. In fact, we've seen snow at Whitefish Mountain. Here is the base of Whitefish. Snow. So definitely a winter wonderland in some of the higher elevations of northwest Montana. We do still have that winter storm warning for Glacier Park through tonight. Total snow up to 30 inches at the highest peaks of the park, and a lot of snow at Logan and Marias Passes. 3 to 7 inches of snow with the winter weather advisory, Kings Hill Pass in central Montana. And a lot of green on the map. From Bozeman to Billings on into the Miles City area, we have watches and flood warnings, and also in the northwest corner of the state as well. Here are the rivers, of course, the devastation in the Yellowstone River. We have flood warnings for the Boulder, Flathead, Gallatin, and Stillwater rivers as well. Taking a look at precipitation, low pressure in Canada. On the back side of it, we have rain and snow north central and western Montana, rain from Havre to Great Falls. Some of this may not be reaching the ground with the very strong downsloping winds down into the Helena area, and from Missoula north to Kalispell. A lot of snow in the mountains, some valley drizzle and rain. And in southeast Montana, we've had a few thunder showers trying to develop in the far southeast corner, but most of the thunderstorms have now moved into western South Dakota and a high wind event. High wind warning through tomorrow, north central, central and northeast Montana, including Great Falls, winds gusting to 60 and 70 miles per hour. An advisory for the Butte area, gusts up to about 45 miles per hour. Folks, these are sustained winds, 46 miles per hour at Cutbank, 37 in Livingston, gusts to 61 in Cutbank, 43 in the Great Falls area, 32 in Billings, as well as Butte. So definitely a very serious situation here in Montana. I'll be tracking this and have my regular cast coming up.
New at 5.
And as part of that very serious weather situation, the extreme flooding throughout Park County has washed out multiple bridges, roads, and left communities and homes isolated, even making drinking water unsafe in many areas. Tonight, our Madison Atkinson joins us live in Livingston, where a press briefing is just wrapping up. So Madison, tell us what the latest information on the Park County flooding is.
Angela, water levels are still high, but it was a big operational day for crews as they were able to open roads from Gardner, which did back up traffic on 89 South. There has been evacuations and rescues happening across the county all day, including airlifts and several swift water rescues. All the areas south of Livingston are affected by water, and along the Yellowstone River Valley and 9th Street, significant has damage in Gardner. There are Red Cross shelters set up in Livingston and Bozeman to help those in need or who have lost a home during the flood. Now, if you need help during this time, there is a public information hotline you can call, and that number is 222-4131. And right now, the county is looking for volunteers to help out those families who have lost their homes. And you can do that by texting 211 and text your name and number to that number. Reporting in Livingston, I'm Madison Atkinson, Montana Right Now.
And not too far from Livingston, the people of Gardner are reflecting as neighborhood homes and bridges disappear into the raging waters. Take a listen.
There is a house right here in Gardner that got swept away, so you could just sit there and watch the bank go out from underneath it, and eventually the house fell out and fell into the river. Pretty surreal to see the damage firsthand.
Surreal, to say the least. You can hear more from that interview coming up tonight in our 6 o'clock newscast. Well, Stillwater County has issued a disaster declaration due to the severe flooding. And Montana Right Now's Melanie Willardson is live. So, Melanie, tell us what you're seeing right now.
Rosebud Creek has washed out the edge of this tennis court behind me. The man in charge of this park also told me there were some large trees along the bank that are also gone. We saw damage like this in multiple places throughout Stillwater County. Take a look at this. This bridge was completely washed out just south above Zorkey at Slim's Lane. And I spoke with one woman who told me her mother-in-law had to leave her home after water came right up to the door.
My mother-in-law's house, as you're going up on the left, right before the mine, up by the mine, it sits on the river, but it had about 25 feet from the river. Now the river is right up next to her door.
Jolene's mother-in-law wasn't the only one who had to move because of the flooding. Stillwater County Disaster and Emergency Services told me 68 people and over a dozen dogs had to be rescued from Woodbine Campground last night. We spoke with Jordan Work, who left the campground before having to be rescued. Jordan said a campground official told him to leave, and in just the 45 minutes it took to pack, the water rose drastically.
We started seeing that some of the tables at the campsites were underwater, and that kind of led to a mad scramble to get out of there.
Right now, there are multiple road closures in place in Stillwater County, including the Yellowstone Bridge in Reed Point. For a complete list of all of those road closures, you can go to our websites at montanarightnow.com or KULR8.com. Reporting live in Stillwater County, I'm Melanie Willardson, Montana Right Now.
And in Yellowstone County, rural fire departments are helping prepare for rising waters. At the Blue Creek Volunteer Fire Department, shovels and bags are provided. And anyone who needs sandbags to reinforce their street can come fill them to take them home. Yellowstone County Emergency Services has several sites available for anyone who needs sandbags. And they ask you contact your local rural fire department for that information. And stations are already set up at the Blue Creek, Huntley, Warden, Laurel, and Lockwood Fire Departments. Now, we do have some breaking news for you after we've... Now, I am just getting word from my producer. Bear with me here. She is telling me right now that the Yellowstone River is expected to crest at about 7 p.m. tonight. This, of course, is breaking news that we are receiving into our newsroom at this minute. She is also telling me that people need to be prepared to evacuate at this time. Once again, breaking news coming into the newsroom right at this minute is that the Yellowstone River is about to crest starting at 7 p.m. tonight. And we are getting word from law enforcement as well as other officials that people need to be prepared to evacuate at a moment's notice. All of this information is being brought to you on our apps. It's also being brought to you on our website. So please make sure to follow us on air and online as these stories develop. Now, once again, our websites are montanarightnow.com and colorate.com.
Coming up, I'll tell you more about the wind in central Montana and what you can do to stay safe.
More news, weather, and sports just minutes away. You're watching Montana Right Now.